Good afternoon, Patriots. And welcome to another edition of Quarantime. Hope everyone's having a lovely day so far. I'm feeling a lot better. Not 100%, you can probably hear it in my voice, but I am getting there. Glad you guys are all here with us today. Please do us a favor. Remember to like and share this broadcast. Help us get the word out. We are extremely excited to bring you today's breaking news. A recently unsealed indictment in the state of Arizona. You guys aren't going to want to miss this. Oh, guys, I had a nice little rest yesterday. Laid back, didn't do any talking. Not that much, a little bit, but not too much. All right, you guys. I see Patriots from all across the globe. I want to know where you guys are from. But I need you to sit back, relax, grab your popcorn, and we'll be right back after a brief word from our sponsor. What a time to be alive, guys. This is truly an unprecedented moment in our nation's history. The preppers are saying, "We told you so," and the financial advisors are scrambling to justify their advice to you and your retirement funds. But in the end, none of it means much, does it? This isn't the time for the blame game. This is the time to help each other out. And before this crisis happened, Noble Gold had been helping investors to educate themselves and discover new ways of avoiding financial disaster. And that is still the case. And right now, they're offering to talk to you for free about what choices might still be on the table to rescue your retirement plans. They have helped hundreds of people secure their stock-backed IRAs with gold and silver to stop them from falling so hard. It's time to get your hands into the physical world of precious metals before it's too late. You can have a chat with our team at Noble Gold, and you can call them at 877-646-5347. Once again, that's 877-646-5347, or you can hit the link below and get the free Investor's Guide. Tell them Red Pill 78 sent you, and remember, when you support my sponsors, you support this channel. Welcome back to another episode of Quarantime. As always, I am Red Pill 78, the corruption detector, and my co-host is the ever-present and ever-resourced Methods. How are you, brother?
What's going on, man? I'm glad to see that you're sounding better.
Yes, I'm on my way. On my way. I'm not quite there yet, but giving myself a day off to basically not talk. I tried not to talk until we were on the air on Sunday. It's getting there. And like I said the other day, my mom made me that elderberry syrup. I think that has killed off any sickness that might have been inside me. It's coating my throat. I got some honey, eating that too. I got my Ricolas, not an endorsement, but the Ricolas are great for your throat. And I'm very, very excited about today's story, Methods.
Right. Well, I just want to let you know that future me sent me a message and told me that you're going to get over it and feel better. Okay. So, sunnier days ahead, man. It'll be okay.
You know what's really interesting is that my future self, using a quantum computer, which is actually a network of satellites which has yet to be developed or deployed, sent me a message too. And he said that you're probably going to get sick sometime in the future, but that you'll also get over it.
Oh, man. Well, I appreciate the information. I'll look for more, of your breadcrumbs so I can, decode it as such.
Dude, perfect. You decode, follow those crumbs. I got a bottle of vitamin C I'll send to you. Take some zinc, take some vitamin D as well. Guarantee you'll be on the road to recovery. Well, guys, how are you guys doing today? I see we've also got a couple people to thank. Lynn Mountjoy says, so frustrated. Got laid off March 24th due to the plandemic. Been trying for 14 days straight to file unemployment claims in New York State and never get through. Starting to freak out, running out of food and money. Well, Lynn, I completely understand. My daughter went through the same thing here in our state. She was unable to get through for about a week, and then she was denied unemployment. So while I appreciate the donation, if you're getting to the point where you don't have any money, I don't want you guys to send anything. That's not necessary. I appreciate it, whatever it is, but I want you guys to make sure that you're taking care of your family and yourselves first, because that is what's most important. I know that we're in a very difficult time right now. We're not able to go out and do the things that we want to do. It's making people a little bit stir crazy. I was feeling a little nutty myself last week. But, getting some time off, it really helped. So I think that the best advice that I can offer you guys is to stay calm when it comes to this stuff. Know that it will be resolved. It's probably going to take a little bit longer because, we've got millions of people all across the country who are trying to file these claims. But shouldn't we be getting our stimulus checks here soon, Methods? I mean, I know that they were planning for April 6th, but, that's come and gone now, and I don't know of anyone who's gotten a stimulus check.
Right. No, they said that there's going to be a website that drops in the middle of this month that's supposed to where people can sign up if they need to sign up to get, the checks and all that. But yeah, I've been waiting on, updates about it. Obviously, those checks are going to help everybody. We all need to know, and we'll of course report it.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't seen anything yet. If there's anything else that we're missing in the chat, okay, the chat's saying April 17th, now 15th, due on the 17th. Okay, well, you guys caught me. I haven't caught all the pressers. But that's all I've known so far, is that it was supposed to be the middle of this month.
All right. I love it that it's on the 17th that it's supposed to be due. That's pretty sweet. Very interesting. I also think that everybody should be looking into local programs in your community. As somebody who has had to depend on food banks in the past to make sure that I had enough nutritious food to feed my family, I know that they exist out there, and I know that there are plenty of faith-based organizations that are there to offer help. Also, if you're a small business, you should definitely look into the benefits that are afforded to small businesses as a result of the CARE Act. If you are a small business and you had employees before this started, so I think you have to have them employed up until February 15th or thereafter, you can apply for a zero interest, no repayment loan that, as part of the CARE Act, they will pay for you to keep your payroll going and keep your employees on the payroll. You can also use that money to is going on. Zoom can't detect your speaker. Well, it says it's still going. You can use that money to also pay your mortgage insurance, pay utilities. There's quite a bit of money as part of the CARE Act that's out there. And the whole reason it's there is to keep small business and small business owners working and keep their employees working. Angela Jones says, thank you, Red Pill 78 and Methods, for your dedication to the Great Awakening and our great country. You are greatly appreciated in Jackson, Florida. Thank you very much, Angela. It's an honor and a privilege to be here, and even if it does wear on everybody at sometimes, being involved in something that is so high stress and requires so much of your time and attention. Methods, I know for myself that I could not be more blessed to be here, living in this moment of time, and to see what's taking place in this country, despite all the turmoil, despite all of the uncertainty. I wouldn't want to take it any other way.
Right. And I mean, I'm glad that we have this platform and opportunity to hang out and try to give people at least some hope or a break, as me and you just ramble at each other about stuff with Pepe memes on the screen. But yeah, I mean, I'm honored to be able to do this and hang out with everybody for sure.
Yeah.
But everybody remember that we are all human. We have our moments. We just don't always necessarily vent it publicly, as some people choose to do and might help them or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But, we have our moments because things are stressful in general. And, that's why we never push the whole time theories and all that stuff, because you set your expectations up, you assume things, and then when it comes and goes, it's very, it's stressful. So yeah, just take life day at a time.
Yeah. And I see people getting frustrated because they think that something hasn't happened or something that they were expecting to happen hasn't taken place yet. But I just, it's those dates, anytime somebody's talking about dates, that's an individual's decoding of the situation and how they interpret something may or may not happen. So just keep that in mind, okay? Unless we hear it from the horse's mouth, it's not necessarily part of the plan. Need to say thank you to Recon Marine for joining as a member. D's Nuts Be Dragon says, stir crazy. I'm throwing tomahawks in my front yard, bro. I can't wait to get my tomahawk in the mail, you guys. I'm going to show it here. It's going to go on the wall in the bunker. Jeannie Salazar joined as a member. Gaffer Anon says, celebrating my mom's 82nd birthday with her. We're watching today's show. Happy birthday, Sally. You have raised an incredible son. This man is a joy, and I love having him here in the chat with us. So I'm really glad you're here on your 82nd birthday. I hope 82 more. Let's hear it for that. Looney Tune says, I deliver for P Hut on day 14. I need a day off. Man, I bet there is a lot of people ordering pizza right now because it's one of the only things that you can probably get with any reliability. Lightworker 303 says, I've been listening for a while. Appreciate you. I appreciate you too, Lightworker 303. Michael Kenny says, if I super chat $500 out of my stimulus check, will you attempt to spin plates while singing the Animaniacs World map song? I need to go outside. I don't know the song, first of all, but sure, I try to spin some plates. Why not? Terry, good to see you, my friend. Thank you for that. Joe Martinez says, God bless and keep sharing good news and info for the people. This is what it's all about, the people. That's right. And EO2 Dave says, our way of life is under attack. Our monetary system is under attack. They used what I classify as a weapon of mass destruction. I think you could be very right. And we've got Trey Gowdy actually speaking out very recently saying that the country of origination needs to pay for what they've done. Angela Jones says, this super chat is for my 82-year-old mother, Annette, who wants to say, keep up the good work. She listens to you every day. Thank you so much, Annette. I appreciate it. Well, you guys, speaking of good news, I've got something very, very good that I wanted to share with you. Methods, we've got a little video here from our friend Truth Hammer. And we're going to pull this up. Now, you guys may or may not have heard what this is all about, but there was an individual with the initials AS, and he was making videos and posts and saying that he was our favorite Anon, and he was showing things that he said were proofs. But they weren't proofs of anything. Just the proof that he could get into a server room, or the proof that he had been near some facility, and then one photo at least, which was photoshopped, which didn't prove a gosh darn thing. He was also doing illegal things. He directed his followers to run an email blockade on a company, a data storage company, and he told them to send emails to clog up their system, which would make it impossible for them to help their customers and the people who held their data with that company, which is illegal. That was harassment and probably some other terms that I don't know off the top of my head, but we've got the indictment, which was recently unsealed, and so we're going to go through it in depth. Also, there was some release of proprietary private medical information for some former NFL players, which was shown on his channel. That was illegal. The hacking into the system of the brain scan doctor's office to get the information was also illegal. And due to the size of his ego and his delusions, he thought that he was untouchable. And that's what he told his followers. He said that because he was untouchable, it was proof that he was our favorite Anon and that he was somebody who couldn't get in trouble. Well, it turns out that he was not correct. He was arrested, and he is currently in the custody of the U.S. Marshals. He's also been appointed a court-appointed defender, which means that he's unable to afford his own lawyer. I'm not going to say his name out loud. I haven't said it out loud on the channel, and I'll be honest, I've tried my hardest to not speak about this individual at all, because when I see problems like this, in my mind, it's best to just ignore them. But now, as it's become such a large part of the news, I don't think that we can afford to ignore it any longer. Methods, did you want to add anything to what I just said?
Well, I mean, you pretty much covered it. We discussed it offline about, not bringing attention to this individual. We treat him like Beetlejuice. You know, we don't, because we've dealt with this before already in this movement over time, and we can kind of see the writing on the wall on how dangerous it could be. And I know a lot of he got a lot of people to follow him. We don't know if they're all like shills helping him or whatever. I'm sure some people believed him, you know, and that's unfortunate. But with where he was going with things was making things obvious. And to me, it's like, why would you trust someone who says he started this movement, he is this movement, but he wanted to go and debate and argue with people on live streams in the middle of an election year that's supporting a president getting back in? You know, come on. So the fact that this broke this morning, I'm not gonna lie, I smiled pretty big over it, just because we kind of expected it to happen because of the stuff he was saying and doing in videos and all that mess. So the fact that this is going on, and you know, shout out to Truth Hammer for being there. I know you're about to show the video,
Yep.
but he's actually there at the courthouse, and he's going to report on it today. I think what do we got now? Like 2 hours and 45 minutes till the actual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be 2 p.m. Arizona Pacific time. So let's go ahead and get this live on the ground report from Truth Hammer. And big ups to Truth Hammer, you guys. I'm actually going to drop the link to his tweet and his account into the chat right there. So if you guys are not following Truth Hammer, you can go and follow him. But let's take a listen.
Hello, Twitter. Truth Hammer here.
Issues with my audio.
It's interesting that the person online claiming to be Q recently, also known as Austin Ryan Steinbart, who has managed to deceive thousands of people, was arrested a few days ago on March 31st for computer crimes and then attempting to extort cash from people using the results of those computer crimes, allegedly. He has been appointed a public defender, does not have his own counsel, apparently can't afford that. And in just a few minutes, at 10 o'clock Phoenix time, will be appearing in the courtroom of Magistrate Boyle, and I will be there to film the perp walk. Back to you soon.
All right, so that was him on his way to the courthouse. Here he is actually inside the courthouse. Just wanted to prove to everybody that he was really there and he wasn't leading anyone astray. Now, I just want to say, like, you know, I don't take pleasure in watching things like this transpire. What I am happy about is that truth has been shown upon these lies. What this man was doing was a danger not only to our movement, but to the people who took him seriously, because he directed them to commit crimes. Think to all of the posts on the boards and ask yourself, when has our favorite Anon ever asked us to commit a crime? Ever asked us to do anything outside the boundaries of the law, or even suggested that we do anything other than think for ourselves? This man was manipulating people. He was leading people astray, people who were fresh to the movement, people who were, just hungry to find a leader, somebody that they could believe in. Some people don't easily necessarily think for themselves. They're looking for someone to hold their hand. And I realize that that those people need the most help. I mean, they're the ones who need to be taught discernment and critical thinking more than anybody else. Let's take a look at him inside the courthouse.
Well, the federal courthouse is a ghost town in Phoenix today. There is almost nobody here. Just security and very few things being handled today. So Austin, feel special. Maybe don't mess with Q when you have a criminal background and cases that you could suddenly end up getting charged for if you made yourself a priority.
So what he did was try to portray himself as this cult of personality, someone who the people in this movement would look to follow, to look to as a leader, and he could absorb this movement and then use it for his own nefarious purposes. We've seen people come in, try to take over before, and each time they have been shown to be frauds. So here is an actual image of the docket from inside the courthouse. Right there at the top is ARS, and 2 p.m. is his court time. Honorable John Z. Boyle. I did think what Truthhammer hit on there is that there isn't much activity in the courthouse. Considering what's happening in the world, I don't know if people are just not committing crimes or if they are holding stuff off so that they can, put it through at a later date. But I tend to think that this case right here was so important that they needed to go ahead and get it taken care of right away. So I had a tweet from Jordan Sather here pulled up because he got from Court Listener the docket and the information. So this is one way that you can look it up, and I'm going to drop the link to this into the chat box there, you guys, so you can check it out. Let me just say thank you to Paul Douglas. He says, he is risen. Yes, he is. Chris Stewart says, will this now force the MSM to ask the Q? I don't know if this will do it. Ken Schufer, thank you for that. And Verified User, thank you for that. Let's see. Jaywalk, he's a guy who tried to come in and take over and use this movement for his own purposes. And I tend to think that it was meant to be a movement that would sidetrack everything that we're doing and then take all of our resources and our collective brain power and put it to use in another way, either for his own enrichment or just to get us off the track of where we're going. So I'm going to show you now a tweet thread from Tonka because he has the actual PDF documents embedded in his tweets. So we can look through and see this. So we've got Assistant U.S. Attorney Sharon K. Sexton filling in. The attorney for the defendant is Benjamin Good. He is an assistant federal public defender. So these are federal crimes methods. It's not like he's on some local docket. I mean, this is some heavy stuff. So he was arrested on March 31st, and the defendant, having consulted with counsel, consents to proceed by way of video teleconferencing. So that means the judge is not actually on site at the courthouse. They are pulling him in front of a video unit and he's getting arraigned. The judge is probably at home. So let's see. So he is going to remain in custody. Let's see. The detention hearing is set for Friday, April 3rd. And then now hearing is Tuesday, April 7th. So this is when he goes before the judge today. So here is the actual court documents. So this is the certificate of service right there. And this is how it went. Defendant A.S. Steinbart caused thousands of emails to flood a victim company's support email system between March 21st, 2020, and continuing at least until March 25th, impairing the integrity or availability of data, a program, a system, or information. A.S. caused this flood of emails with the intent to extort the victim's company into returning him with access to certain computer files he identified as the amorphous archive. The victim company removed Steinbart's posted files because some of them allegedly contained private third-party information that A.S. misappropriated from his contract work with CenturyLink. This is something he's been doing for quite some time. He's been using his position as an IT expert, somebody who's getting contracts with telecommunications and tech companies, and he's been using that opportunity to go into their systems and gather information. He maintained that he was doing this under the direction of people in our government, which is very, very dangerous thing to say. Now, they maintain that he is a danger to the community and is unlikely to follow any court-imposed conditions of release because he appears to have significant unaddressed mental health issues. He has demonstrated a propensity to make threatening communications, and he's shown a willingness to escalate his criminal conduct even after being admonished by the FBI. Here is a sampling of some of the government's concerns. In January of this year, Steinbart went to California Clinic for a brain scan at the behest of his parents. This California clinic provides holistic treatments for behavior issues. While there, Steinbart gained unauthorized access to protected patient information on the clinic's computer and recorded the patient information in a video. Now, when he published this in a video, he distributed it widely across the internet. And the doctor in question gave him the opportunity to take it down. Came to him in a civil manner, asked him to remove it, and Austin declined. He wanted more than just this doctor to get in trouble for having this private information posted. This is the actual video right here. It was called Spooky Number Games and Fake Russia Hacks. Now, Steinbart's detention arguably cannot be based solely on a finding of dangerousness, and they quote a precedent for why they're holding him in the way they are. On March 13th, he posted a video to his YouTube, and at the 5-minute mark, it shows that the clinic learned of the patient information disclosure and asked him to take it down. He refused to take the video down, and in one of his many text messages with the clinic, he made unusual comments about being a Defense Intelligence Agency officer immune from prosecution. So these are text messages right here that he sent to the doctor. He said if Terry's lawyers and he's talking about Terry Bradshaw, former NFL player Terry Bradshaw. If Terry's lawyers give you a hard time, send them my pics and tell them that I said they will be next if they don't cool their jets. A direct threat. Hashtag national security. Understand that my video flagrantly violates YouTube's terms of service and would have been censored in 10 seconds if the DIA was enforcing them to keep it up using national security pretext. Now, Methods, I know you know a thing or two about the terms of this platform. Now, are you aware that in order for this company to remove a video, they generally have to be made aware that there is something violating the terms of service going on. They have to have a complaint. They don't just take things down because it violates copyright. The owner of whatever that information is needs to let YouTube know that that information shouldn't be up there.
Right. Yeah, I know about that.
All right. Thank you, Mary Poff. She says, thank you. Glad to see you today. Glad to see you, too.
Well, before you get on to that point, like, I mean, you were just reading, we don't want to brush over the fact that, he was taken in for a brain scan.
Yeah, at the behest of his parents.
Right. So I know I've seen some discussion about this, about, I know we're making fun of him or whatever. It's just because he's been attacking us so much. And it's just,
yeah, that's the only reason I'm talking about it, is because constant attacks.
But with that said, I mean, if he is completely just, what's the word I want to use? If he is mentally gone, then that is unfortunate. He needs help. Pray for him and his family in that case. But also, like I said earlier, the timing of this happening during this election year, around this time, while we're already dealing with everything else. It kind of reminds me, and I don't want to put this out there, and this would be a methods theory and all that stuff, but the timing of him being a useful idiot to try to be, that Trojan horse into the movement to blow it up. Because, I mean, if he got people to actually, let's say that he just kept going and he didn't get arrested, and he was already getting people to do these things, like illegally, like clogging people's phone lines and all that stuff, which you'll get into. Then what else was he going to get people to do? And it would all fall on, because he made sure to always say that he was a part of this movement or leading this movement, and that paper trails along the whole way. So to me, it's suspect. I think that we need to still figure out more on who he's connected with. I've seen a lot of that research, but I would not be surprised if, this is some kind of, activated bad actor situation. But if it is him just being just gone mentally, then okay, well, there's that too.
Yeah. I mean, remember back to the 26th, March 26th, which I believe is a date that coincides with some of the activity happening in this report. Infiltration instead of invasion. That's the easiest way that you can take somebody down. And that's why spies are so effective, because they infiltrate an organization, they infiltrate a government, they infiltrate a movement, and then they can dismantle it from within. Think COINTELPRO. I'm sure you guys are familiar with that. So he continues, speaking to the doctor, so if I was you, I would get ahead of this by putting out a press release ASAP stating that 3 highly targeted NFL patients had their medical records hacked by a self-described DIA agent as part of a military intelligence operation, and that based on 1, the hacking of a Clowns in America, the archive of Clowns in America hacking tools I showed you at our session, 2, the pictures which demonstrate my obvious immunity to prosecution, and 3, the fact that YouTube can't take it down. You believe this is, and I think that he wants him to say that this is like an actual operation by a government agent. Now, the information that he has in there, he has the tools that were downloaded from the organization WL that was formerly headed by Julian A. And then what he's asking this doctor to do is to co-sign his BS. If he can get this respected doctor to put out a press release that says that he is legitimate, that would be a proof that he would have used to fool more people on his YouTube channel. Now, he continues, after some further exchanges, Austin reposted the video and made the following threat against the clinic. I would highly recommend you fire your expensive but hilariously incompetent lawyer and find someone who's going to actually represent your interests here, Doc. Because of Mark's stupidity, Mark was the lawyer, I will be releasing another video about Amen clinics tonight. And then he says again, unless you guys want nuclear Armageddon to rain down on all of your heads, you will immediately apologize to my parents, and your attorneys will direct all further correspondence to me exclusively. And my browser restarted again. Let me go ahead and get the chat back out on the screen. And, you know, I mean, I want to go back once again to the language that's been used by our favorite Anon, the things that have been said. There have been insinuations made against certain bad actors. But can you really see the person or the people behind those, what are they called, dude? I completely blanked. The codes that verify who our favorite Anon is.
I'm trying to follow you, man.
I can't even. What is the code? The
trip code?
The trip code. That's it. Sorry, I couldn't remember. The trip code. The people behind that trip code. Can you see them making a threat to a doctor's office to put out a press release? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Need to say thank you to Gino. You guys think AS's crimes were reported by our favorite Anon to the authorities? Seems like this case was put before the judge rather quickly. I think that somebody... Austin is hacking my machine. Luke Sly Talker says Austin's hacking us. I think that somebody reported it, and it may have happened, you know, a week or so before this complaint was taken, and then he was arrested. But continuing on, his crimes include, again, on March 19th, the FBI actually made contact with him at his home in Chandler to discuss his disclosure of sensitive patient information. During the interview, Austin referred to himself as a spy and claimed to receive messages from himself in the future. Austin claimed to be protected by the DIA and that he receives direction on what to do from the DIA. The FBI asked Austin to remove the videos with the patient information, and he refused. Shortly after meeting the FBI, Austin then escalated his conduct by extorting the victim company in Connecticut by directing his YouTube followers to engage in coordinated email flood attack. And that was to Dado. Now you can see here on the screen, this was the description of the video. he gave a form email that he wanted his followers to send in, and thousands of people did it. So definitely it messed up their ability to help their customers and the people that were paying for their service. Now, in the video, he again claimed to be the new DIA commander. He discussed the email blockade on the victim company and provided additional victim company email addresses for his supporters to target. He also invited his followers to call tech support and urged his supporters to call in and dial 9 for emergency support. So then on March 23rd, he made a threatening communication to the victim's company's CEO over Twitter, sent a threatening message to the CEO on Twitter. He said that his name is Austin. He's running a military intelligence operation for the Defense Intelligence Agency called Operation 17th Letter of the Alphabet. You are impeding my operation and threatening our national security with your unconstitutional censorship. Reinstate my amorphous archive immediately, or you will be targeted. And if I don't have my archive back in the next 10 days, there is a very good chance I will send some psychos to come see you in person. Just CEO Tim, not anyone else. So now he's stepped it up to a different level here, saying that he's going to send thugs to the CEO's home to actually do physical harm. I ask you again, when have we ever heard language like this coming from the team that is giving us information? Methods, have you felt at any time that there was a possibility that threats of a physical nature might have been made by our favorite Anon?
No, I definitely haven't. I mean, they referred to taking care of things, will help you sleep, whatever, take it for what you will. But as far as like the language that you're reading right there off that document, that's definitely not the impression that I would ever get about somebody behind those posts. And, and a shout out to a lot of you out there. I have to say this, that just caught on to this from the start. I mean, whatever the intentions are, whatever the motives were behind, Operation Beetlejuice, shout out to y'all for the discernment and taking time and looking at things. This is a great example of that. We don't have to say everything. People kept tagging me. What's your thoughts on him? What's your thoughts on this? You needed to debate him. You could tear him apart. What was the point when I just waited to see what was going on? And now we have a document to report, so hat tip to all you guys for that. And to anybody that was fooled, it happens. I mean, we were all new at one point following these things. We've failed on certain things along the way. Don't beat yourself up over it, but take this as a learning opportunity that, there are going to be these roadblocks put in the way intentionally. I mean, you can read the shills in the chat right now trying to rip things apart. Yeah. You get numb to it after a while, and as much gets thrown at me and, Red Pill and others, you kind of get used to it, numb. And so just take everything with a grain of salt, especially when it's people making claims like this. Because, I mean, think about the whole thing with the train being sent off towards the ship and how all he had to do was just make a few comments that you could mirror towards what our favorite Anon has said. And then, boom, the article's dropped within 24 hours. I mean, we have to be careful with these things. Yeah. And so that's why we just don't talk about it when we don't know enough.
And the reason that we're going over it right now is because this is a perfect example of people who, not a majority, okay, but enough people just fell hook, line, and sinker for someone saying that they were an insider of some sort. So you wouldn't believe how often I get tweets sent to me saying, like, this guy's for real, he says he's this, he says he's that, and they're absolutely not. And I want this to be a learning experience for anybody who saw what he was putting out and thought to themselves, this is legit. It can happen to anyone. And I would just want people to use a little bit of critical thinking and to look at this stuff. I know what it's like to want to see somebody, taking action, bringing us further down the pike, making sure that we are pushing this movement forward and not stagnating. Well, unfortunately, with the way the world works, there is going to be lulls. There's going to be times when it doesn't seem super exciting, and we just have to sit back and watch. And that's part of having faith. That's part of being able to let go and say, I don't have to control this situation, and I can be here in this moment and experience what's taking place and use that time to make up your mind with a little bit of factual evidence that might come your way.
Right. I mean, real quick before you go to that, like, I mean, that's you. What would you think? You know, a war with this movement having to deal with, like, a certain, like, having attacks come at us look like, right? We would have people that try to be like us or act like they're a part of this movement. You would have division. You would have people literally doing fake decodes that to me is a joke sometimes. I'm like, are you really pointing at that? Because I don't know this person. And that's the mystery behind this movement is that, yeah, a lot of us are anonymous, but in turn, you know, the enemy is anonymous too. So this is what it would look like. And I mean, we all expected for it to get worse. Our favorite Anons pointed at this is going to get worse. And this is the election year. So you expect these things, if anything, be even more suspect. You know, it's better to be more suspect and learn later that you were wrong instead of just sinking your teeth into something that takes you down.
Last thing I want to point out here is that the crimes were committed up until the 25th, because on the 26th, that's when they took action. If you take a look here, on the 26th of March, we got the no private comms reinforcement. All right. I believe that our favorite Anon and the team are well aware of what's going on. They were watching this, and they were waiting to take adequate action. Crypto Beetle says, appreciate the views, peeps. Would be great if the real Q would send out a drop just for the people still on the fence. Would be pretty hard for dude to do it from jail. Where we go when we go all. God bless all. You guys, next Sunday, I'm going to be joining Crypto Beetles on his channel to talk about some of these things with his audience. So when we get the link, I will share it with you guys. I'll put it on the community section on my my channel page, and as many of you that could possibly be there to enjoy the conversation with us, I would appreciate it if you guys showed up.
Yeah, because we'll be taking Sunday off as far as Comfy Sunday goes.
Yeah,
with the, you know, it being Easter and all that. But I do want to thank everybody. We've got basically 5,500 people here. If you don't mind clicking that like button, thanks for hanging out with us.
Appreciate you guys. Also need to say, White Hat, thank you. He says, makes folks like me look bad. It's a big diff. Shake my head. It is, you know. I mean, you get the opportunity to listen to these people, and they come out and they pretend that they have some inside information, and it makes the people who are actually giving inside information look like, you know, they're just trying to take advantage of people. Kurt Listerman, lots of respect. Thank you, Kurt. I appreciate it, buddy. And Son of a Green Card says, best late birthday present ever. Hope he gets the help he apparently needs. Yeah, he does. He obviously needs help. You know, he's had some undiagnosed issues, and they're going to go ahead and take care of it. It's very possible that he might end up in an institution and not end up in a jail cell. And then D's Nuts Be Dragon says, bro, I cut my hair like the dude in the video. Will you still be my friend? Yes, I will definitely still be your friend. I am like this close to like ordering, what was that vacuum cleaner hair cutting kit off the internet, because like there's no barbershops open. There's no place that I can get my hair cut. And I'm definitely starting to feel like it's getting way too long. Let's see. Oh, that's all from you guys. All right, I appreciate it. So, you know, once again, Truth Hammer doing some great work actually there in Arizona. I'm just going to check real quick to see if he's got any more footage. Okay, so actually he says, at 1 p.m., I may or may not be granted permission to film inside the courtroom for the 2 p.m. hearing. So that's good news. If he is able to get footage inside there, guys, I will put it together. Floby, that's right. All right, guys, I appreciate you.
Chat's so what the best, man. They knew what that was real quick.
Yeah. I also did want to talk about the fact that there is some major things happening on this platform. Yesterday, a whole slew of channels got their monetization and their partnerships taken away. There's also been a lot of videos with a certain subject matter that have been getting deleted. I just want to say that it's a scary time. It's a scary time to be doing this stuff, to be putting truth out there and speaking against the grain. So, you know, it's just there's an air of uncertainty, you guys, and it's not necessarily a good feeling. Any way that you can support, quite frankly, Craig Mason's Reasonable Conversation channel, those guys are great friends of mine, and they got the rug pulled out from under them yesterday, and they're not alone. There was a bunch of other channels too. So definitely appreciate you guys helping out the community and keeping creators like myself and others, making these videos, because it's your patronage. It's the fact that you're showing up to watch these videos that make it possible for us to go ahead and do that. So big prayers for Craig and Frank and all the others. Let's see here. We also had some information we wanted to bring.
Since we're on the prayer thing too, and I've just seen a lot of people talk about in the chat. I'd hate to not mention it. We read Neon Revolt's post. Everybody who's been following us for a while know that he's been a friend to us. He's been very good to me and Red Pill over the time. Whether you love him or hate him, that's your own opinion. He goes about things the way that only Neon can do at times. But just pray for him. We've all felt the weight of whether timelines don't line up in our heads, or the attacks become relentless when it's obvious shills and stuff. We deal with these things. We're all human. We all have our emotional moments. It's just sometimes they might bleed out onto the internet, and I don't blame Neon for needing to take a break or time or whatever. Maybe he really needed to just put that post out there, but regardless of the intentions, he's also he is a fellow patriot. I don't care what people say about him. He's been nothing but good to me and hasn't proven me wrong in that yet. If it comes out down the road, then all right, this would be an opportunity for y'all to make fun of me for getting fooled about a LARP. But that's not Neon in my eyes. He's been good. He's been good to us, man. And just pray for him, keep his family, in prayers. This is all hard times for everybody. But yeah, it is unfortunate, but I'm glad that he's taking time for himself.
Yeah. I mean, I can say, last Thursday, if I could have, I would have taken a month off. And I completely understand where Neon is at. And like Method said, I got Neon 6 all day. He's been an incredible friend to me throughout the time that I've known him. I have no reason to think anything bad about him. Everybody has moments where they get frustrated and they need to take a step back. And it's because this is never ending. I mean, like the news, the coverage, it's constant. And he said in his post that for the last 3 years, he's had to put aside anything else that he wanted to do in his life. And that's a tremendous sacrifice. So I really appreciate Neon. And Neon, if you're watching, I love you, brother. And I think that we're all better off for the work that you've done over the last couple of years. And if you got to take some time off, man, then, you do you. That's no problem. So I'm seeing other people asking about other creators in the chat. I don't know, what happened to anybody, if they're making content anymore. I know, that Craig and Frank do intend to keep making videos. I know Frank is just returning after getting his computer sorted out. But yeah, Craig made a video yesterday. I don't know about anybody else that I'm seeing in there. I did see, somebody said Joe M had to take some time off. He did, and I think he came back and he was better for it. So, who knows? Methods and I may need to do that sometime in the future. I mean, it's something that happens. Is my mom here? Hi, Mom. I love you. You guys, I also kind of want to announce that there is a possibility that in the near future, well, it looks like maybe I won't be able to. I might be putting a report together about the 5G technology that's going up because I've been contacted by somebody who is one of us, but also works in the industry, and they have some information to give me. So I will be bringing you guys that information as I receive it. And hopefully it's going to be good stuff that will help us in what we're doing here. Joey Stewart says, just want to say hello to all the beautiful patriots out there. God bless you all. Prayer is the most important thing you can do in any situation, and more important than most realize. It is. It definitely is. And Daddy Crab says they are infiltrating fake anons for a reason, same as what happened in DC. Yeah, they're doing it on purpose, you guys, because it's effective. Like I said, spies are effective. They do it because they can get away with it. And all they need to do is throw a little shine on something, perhaps drop a little bit of real information mixed in with some fake. I mean, the best disinformation is peppered with the truth. So it happens, and all of us just need to keep that in mind and be careful and use discernment on a daily basis. Wolves in sheep's clothing. That's the thing. Emmy, where we go one, we go all UK. Thank you for that. Truth Seeker says, we love all you creators and all that you have done. Well, thank you very much, buddy. It's a pleasure to be here, and I do appreciate it. I didn't make a video yesterday, but I did put out a clip, and I know that a lot of people saw it. The president, in his press briefing yesterday, answered a question from Chanel Rion. Do you want to tell us about that, Methods?
You're talking about what Space Shot put out on it, that because I retweeted that. I think that's the same thing you're talking about the what's been going on during all this with the military's handling.
Yeah, I took the clip and just put it on my channel, but yeah, I don't know what was Space Shot's comment on it.
Yeah, let me get over to it real quick, because that's where I saw it first. Because like I said earlier, I'm not catching all of the pressers, whether I'm doing other things. Like my wife was off work yesterday, so I've spent time with her. Yeah. He said, okay, so allegations turn to proof, and then quote, are there any other illicit activities you are going after? And that's what Chanel asked. And then Trump responded, well, there are the activities of human, that word.
T.
Yeah. The movement around of people for profit.
Not with cars.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited, first off, for Chanel asking that question, because she's definitely savage. I love that she's fighting back and doing everything we can, or she can, for the movement. But yeah, the fact that that's being set up there is definitely needed, because everybody's watching these pressers because they have nothing else to watch, for the most part. So that being said on a public stage during all this it's great.
Yeah. It was an amazing thing to watch, and to have President Trump's verification that the military is being used to set people free, both down in South America and of course at the border, which we had most of us had suspected for quite a long time. But to get the confirmation from the president that this is going on, and we know the military has been activated. We have a story here from the Gateway Pundit about military ships being sent to the Caribbean Sea to disrupt these cartels, and then also the transfer of these people back and forth. So incredible things happening here. And this is one of those things that largely was happening behind the scenes. Because it was a military operation, we weren't getting the information about it. President Trump blessed us by telling us this. And I want anybody who has been crying that nothing has been happening to realize this is a perfect example of things happening behind the scene that you don't know about, because you don't need to know about it. It is need to know. You don't have a security clearance. You don't have access to that information. But now, thank God, the president has told us that that's going down. And we can look and we can say, well, geez, no wonder they were so busy doing stuff that they couldn't tell us about. They were fixing things behind the scenes.
Right. I mean, we don't need to know. We don't need to know when it's happening. We would just like to know after the fact, because we're talking about the most evil of sins and actions that happen on Earth. And the fact that our military, and I know that we have international patriots and we love you for being here, I'm proud that it's our military doing this and working in conjunction with others, fighting this evil head on. I mean, that to me is one of the most noble things that can be done. And once again, pray for them as well, God's protection, because they're fighting demons on Earth, essentially.
I need to say thank you to Sojourner 0703. April showers bring May flowers. I'm hoping for it. I'm looking forward to it. And Charles Pixley, good friend of the program, says, you guys have the most well-balanced, always kind, edgy without violating propriety or truth, and a real new age Cronkite. Much respect. Thank you so much, Charles. Good to hear from you, buddy. Glad you're here with us. Well, we don't have anything else specifically to talk about for the rest of the day. I'm I'm looking to do today's video at 6 o'clock, so I'm going to be putting something together here as soon as we get off the air. But if there's anything that you guys want to discuss specifically, or you've got any tips, again, you can always send that to me at redpill78@protonmail.com. If I can just ask that if you're just going to send me a video or a link to a video, please don't, because the chances are really, really bad that I'm going to even be able to watch it. If you've got something that you found that you want to highlight for me, by all means, send me some notes and tell me what it was, and tell me why I should be looking into it. If you want to send me links to stories or to things that you found on digs, that's great, because then I can easily use it and reference it and take a look at the sauce. But if it's just a video, then please don't do it. Don't do it, guys, because there's no way I'm going to be able to watch all the videos. I go through and look at each of them every day, and I've still got hundreds. I've got over 1,000 emails, because every single day I get hundreds more, and I'm trying to catch up with this backlog, and it's not working. it's not working. I'm trying really hard.
If the video's that important, timestamps are great. What's the moment, and a beginning and end time, because I'll have people send that to me real quick and notifications. They're like, Emperor, you got to watch this video, and there's enough exclamation points that make me believe that they're serious. Mm-hmm. But I'll click on it, and it'll be a 2-hour video documentary. Yeah. And I'm like, I really didn't plan on stopping what I was doing. And then, of course, like we always talk about, chasing butterflies, man. We're all over the place trying to keep up with things. We get pulled in different directions. So we appreciate the information being sent, but if you guys can make it as simple as possible, spoon feed us, if you will, what you're pointing at, that helps us out a lot more.
Yeah, 100%. Because like I said, if it's a link, I'm just, I'm not gonna be able to go and sit through the video and then pick out what it was that you thought we needed to see. But if you got a timestamp, at the very least, or if you've got some notes as to what it was that you saw in the video that you thought was worthwhile, that would just be a tremendous help. Need to say thank you to Untamed Species 73. Thank you for that. Arkansas Honey says, I just hope something comes to light soon. I'm tired of looking like a loon. Thanks for your work. I completely understand. And here's the thing, as I've said many times in the past, it's not going to happen on the timeline that is convenient for us. It's going to happen on the timeline that is necessary for it to be completed in the best way possible. So, don't do things to push people away in your life. Definitely. Because when things do go down, you're going to have to be the one that's there to offer them the solace and say, this is what I've been talking about all the time. You've got to be a light in the darkness. Tracking. I got the tracking number, buddy. I got the page all pulled up on my phone. So as soon as I get it, I'm gonna be sending out pictures. I'll put it on Twitter. I'll put it on the community page. So thanks. Appreciate that, buddy. What? I don't know what that was. There's apparently a strange emoji. I don't know what that's about. All right. Well, you guys, we are going to be reaching the end of our broadcast here in just a moment. I want to say thank you again, everybody, for allowing me to take that day off. I want to say thank you to Guy in California for sending me that awesome hat and all the stickers. I'm going to post some pictures of that probably tomorrow. I appreciate it. We're also going to do a raffle this week on a hat, which was sent to me by my buddy G Money. So be looking for the raffle for that hat here on one of the shows sometime this week. I think we're most likely going to do it on Quarantime, because that way we can interact with you guys at the same time, and then we can work out how to get you the hat. Praise and Joy says, I sent you a picture of Fauci. Please check it out. Praise and Joy, was that the one of Fauci doing the wink and the nod at the reporter? Cue the music, says check Proton. Okay, I will check my Proton. Yeah, Methods, I hope that you enjoyed your day off yesterday. I hope that helped you too.
Right. I mean, I'm trying to use this time as well. Obviously, having the show and being prepared for what we're going to talk about, developing an opinion or whatever. But if everybody notices, I'm not tweeting as much. I'm trying to use this time, to kind of keep myself balanced as well. Because I mean, there is so much going on, and everybody sees it, and we're trying to all be polite about it. There's so much information flying around, and things that disagreements and just false information or unverified. It's just like, to me, it's like, it's not a matter of like giving up, it's a matter of stepping back and just letting the dust settle a little bit. So I've been enjoying it. If anything, it'll be, as things, America opens back up, for business, and things change and the narrative changes away from this kung flu, I want to be prepared for that moment, because it's going to get crazier up towards the election. We all know this. It's going to ramp up. I mean, this year feels like a decade already, right?
Yeah.
Of all the things that have happened.
Yeah, it does.
So I want to be prepared, to be there for everybody, do what I do on Twitter or here. So yeah, man. And I tell that to everybody, take your time. It's not a matter of giving up, but just take a moment, chill out, enjoy a day or two or whatever. It's still going to keep going on, because this movement's not ever going to stop. But yeah, I'm enjoying the time, and I appreciate this time here with everybody. It's definitely the highlight of my day.
Yeah, me too. So I just want to say thank you to everybody for coming today. Thank you to everybody who liked and shared it. We ended up with 2.1 thousand likes. So on your way out, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like, we would greatly appreciate it. You can go ahead and still share it, because the replay will always be available. And just one more thing. I just want to say, everybody who watches this show knows that I don't go talking about other people. I'm talking about the news, and the fact that we discuss this individual today is not going to be a sign of what we're going to be doing in the future. I don't want to have to talk about other people. This is newsworthy, and it was a direct attack on our movement. Go back through all of my shows, and I encourage you to see any other show where I directly call out anybody, because it never happened. All right, guys, thanks for joining us today. Love y'all. It's been a pleasure. Methods, thank you for being with me once again.
Yep. Everybody have a great day. Much love.
Good luck and God bless. I'll see you at 6.